Y'all have one, two.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome to our podcast, Greg. Always a pleasure, man. Next week,
What's up, buddy?
It's gonna be our fourth birthday, homie.
Yeah.
Our fourth birthday, 4 years complete next week. Yep, next show. Here we go.
Do we have silly hats and stuff?
No, I'm gonna reach out to a bunch of people this week.
Hi, I'm Jason. And I'm Greg. We are Gen X, and welcome to our podcast. We're the last generation to grow up without internet
or computers.
We're the last generation that played outside
all day
until the
Street lights came out.
We watched cartoons
on Saturday mornings
while reading the cereal box commercials.
We didn't have cell phones in our pockets.
We shared one house phone. Growing up
Over the last 30 plus years, we've learned a few things about life.
Raising kids, losing family, managing money, having
a professional career, self-care, and much more. Each episode, we talk about our experiences as Gen Xers.
Growing up in the 70s and 80s, and our lives have been influenced, shaped today. We are
Now hating our 50s.
and we are still wondering,
Are we adults yet?
Still slouching my chair.
That's all right. I love our intro. We don't get to listen to it enough.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a little while.
We haven't done that in a little while, so I really, I appreciate that. So
Maybe we did it. We did do that a few weeks ago, but before that, it was a while, so it was good to
it's
do
been
a couple of
yeah.
times. What's up?
What's up, man? Hey, did you read Calvin and Hobbes in the newspaper? Did you have the books? Did you feel like it was a kid comic or something deeper? Did you realize it made you think as much as laugh? Thank you guys for tuning in this week, checking us out. Please follow, like, subscribe, comment, buy our merch, all the things. We appreciate you. Welcome
To the podcast.
We have a ton of listeners outside the United States, and I want to say I see you and thank you guys. We are growing it's exponentially out there. Ukraine, we see you guys. Canada has exploded. We were just in one section for a while, or one territory?
Province.
We were just in one, and now we are all across the board. So forgive me.
Coast to coast in Canada.
Coast, thank you. Forgive me for my lack of knowledge for our northern neighbors up there. But, thank you guys. You guys have been day one. So I appreciate you guys. So anyways, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe on our YouTube channel. That thing needs some love. YouTube, Gen X, are we adults yet? That's where you want to be. That's where you'll find all of our video content. You get to stare at Greg and I and all of our wonderful guests right in the face for as long as you please. All we ask is that if you start a video, I'm just kidding. Start a video, watch it for 3.5 minutes. Help pay the bills. Just kidding. We're not monetized.
Yeah, we don't
have ads in our stuff. So
we're not into that money making thing.
Yeah, F that stuff.
Have some fun, man.
F that money stuff.
Yeah, screw that.
You know what? You know what we are into? You know what we do have is Chatty McChatface here today. Chatty's joining us, and he's our all-around, all-purpose information guru guide. He's biased towards Greg and I, of course. He's gonna, always kind of validate what we say, but he'll also offer a little bit of other truths. So we can't quite get him to lie without, giving a disclaimer. So anywho, I'd like to introduce Chatty. Hey, Chatty, welcome to the show. We are talking about Calvin and Hobbes this week, or this evening. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. I'm Chatty, your trusty co-host. I'm here to keep the conversation flowing and sprinkle in some fun facts along the way. Tonight, we're diving into the world of Calvin and Hobbes. So let's get ready for some imagination and philosophy, all in one comic strip.
Sweet. All right. He tuned in. Just
Chatty. What's up, buddy?
Chatty. Nice to meet you, brother. Nice to see you. All right. I asked Greg in the opening of the show, where did you get your Calvin and Hobbes? I got mine in the bathroom. And you see these books right here? These are the books I grew up with in the bathroom. Let me move that comment. Jamie, welcome to the show, brother. Always good to see you, man. These are the books. They sat in a little magazine holder next to the toilet in the bathroom of my high school house.
Yep.
That's where I learned Calvin and Hobbes, was in the bathroom. Fun fact, I also learned how to drive a car in the bathroom. How do you do that, you ask? That's where the California Driver Handbook was located. I learned all of the numbers, learned all of the little stats and data that you were supposed to learn, and the distances and all the information by reading that book in the bathroom. I've recommended that to a lot of people. You need to read a book, throw it in the bathroom. You'll read it.
Renee doesn't know who Calvin and Hobbes are, so let's do a little
How you doing?
intro and background for Renee here.
Let's do that.
And all of our other listeners, maybe.
Let's do a little background.
Because we have worldwide listeners, they may not understand the culture, even maybe like newspaper, comic book culture in general. I think I read this in the newspaper when I was a kid.
Absolutely. Back in the day, newspaper comics were a huge part of everyday life. They were printed in daily papers and brought humor, adventure, or reflection to millions. You'd have a daily strip, just a few panels, and on Sundays, a full-color page. Calvin and Hobbes, launched in 1985, was one of the most beloved, read internationally. So, folks worldwide, imagine a time when your daily dose of wit and wisdom came folded up on your doorstep.
He's muted now. Sorry, but he was listening that whole time.
It was delivered by Bobby Anderson. Was our paper boy.
Was he?
And he would bring us the newspaper, and I could read the comics while I ate my bowl of cereal before school in the morning. Calvin and Hobbes came out in 85, though. Another thing that came out in 85. Added to the list.
What?
85.
85? Oh,
yeah.
84. 84 is our year.
84.
84.
1985 John Hughes classic.
Yeah, that he's outside of 84, but everything else was in 84. Yeah.
Still,
but yeah, 85 is good. I was 13. That's fine. We'll do it. 100%.
Yeah. But nobody knew who it was in 85. It didn't really.
No, it was just a comic strip then. It took a minute to catch on. And again, this was, 85. It came out, and we graduated in 90. So that's already 5 years that he'd been out. These collections, these books in front of me had already been, created. And these are just collections of the comics that have already been released, right? I don't think there's any new content in these books. I think these are all collections. Right?
It's just running. It's just running. Each one is whatever, a year or two of comics.
I believe so. So we're going to get into the bathroom reader. I did bring some with us, and I'd like to kind of share them here. This is the very first Calvin and Hobbes comic. I hope you guys can read it. Make it big on your phone if you can, whatever. This is where Calvin and his dad, and we're going to get into his dad's character. It plays a huge part in the entire relationship and the psychology and all the stuff that goes into Calvin and Hobbes. Dad's just not like a side character. He's a pivotal kind of force in the whole comic strip of Calvin and Hobbes. But here it is right here. Calvin's telling his dad, "Hey, I'm going out to catch a tiger. I just made a tuna fish sandwich, and I didn't know like tigers like tuna fish, and here we go." And then we see Hobbes for the first time hanging upside down, obviously in a tiger trap, and here we are. This is how
stupid that way.
we're kind of stupid that way, right? This is how. Let's see. Let's do this. This is how Calvin and Hobbes met each other, right here, right.
That's the best thing ever. Is this the second one? Was a Sunday comic?
No. So Calvin and Hobbes have several story arcs, little mini stories that go on with the comics. These comics were not just independent weeks. Renee said, Family Circus. Family Circus, I don't think there were long-running story arcs in that one. For example, I think whatever we saw was an independent comic from the week before and the week after, right? So Calvin and Hobbes had these longer running story arcs. And the one we're seeing here is one of my favorites, is that Calvin on his way home or coming in the door, Hobbes will pounce on him and just completely annihilate him. Like you're seeing right here. He opens the door. It's dark. You can see those little beady eyes, and all of a sudden this tiger comes out of nowhere and completely just, annihilates him. Bill Watterson was really well known for his facial expressions on these comics, right? These were humans. They had hands. They had all the things that, usually cartoons kind of don't have. But these guys, if you pay attention and look closer, what really tells the story are the expressions on the characters' faces. right? You can see what they're saying just by the look on their faces, right?
Yeah, there's no dialogue until the last couple panels or whatever the last panel. I can't really see them, but
I can't read that. I thought it
like that's crazy.
mm-hmm.
This guy had 6 failed comic strips before he finally came out with Calvin and Hobbes. Everybody said he was too deep and philosophical.
Well, here
In all of his other strips. And then he
right.
got away with this. Calvin, based on John Calvin,
yes,
representing chaos,
mm-hmm.
and Hobbes, who's named after Thomas Hobbes, representing reason. Even though it kind of looks the opposite here.
So chaos and reason,
Hobbes
yes.
is kind of chaotic here.
Yes, he's impulsive. He's emotionally reactive. He's kind of over the top with everything, right? He does all the things. Chaos, 100%, right? And we'll get into why Susie Durkins works so well. You know, she's not the nemesis. She's not the enemy. She's the exact opposite. She's a rule follower. She's regulated. She can think through a problem. You know what I mean? Which is the exact opposite of our friend Calvin, right? So, Calvin and Hobbes. Let's ask Chatty. Let's get Chatty's input on so a little bit of background on those people, because one of them is a theologian and another one is something else. I don't know what their titles are. But let's ask old Chatty here. Hey, Chatty, help us understand who Calvin and Hobbes were each based on and a little backstory of each person.
So Bill Watterson didn't base their personalities on real people, but he did give them names inspired by 2 big thinkers. Calvin is named after John Calvin, a 16th century theologian known for his ideas about predestination. Kind of funny, since Comic Calvin is all about free will and chaos. Hobbes is named after Thomas Hobbes, a 17th century philosopher known for his skeptical view of human nature. The Tiger's got that dry, witty skepticism. And fun fact, Hobbes' playful side was inspired by Watterson's real cat, Sprite. So it's a mix of philosophy and a little feline fun.
So maybe his real cat was pouncing him when he got home like this.
I think that's where all that came
and
from.
That's how Bill Watterson grew up.
Right. I was reading a little deeper on this stuff, and that's how that worked out. There's a good one right there. You can see us right there because you want to see our lovely faces. So, Calvin and Hobbes versus Gen X, right? As if you guys are fans of Calvin, and if you read these, these comics or happen to have some of these books here, Calvin played outside all freaking day. We weren't allowed inside. He another story arc is the deep philosophical conversations they have while they're going in the wagon, the radio flyer wagon down the hill, and they always crash, and that's inevitable. Like death and destruction is inevitable, and then the conversations they have on the way down is another story arc that within deepest. Calvin and Hobbes, right? Yeah. Boredom into imagination, and we had no smartphones. Our imagination was kind of the same thing, right? Cardboard tech. We will cover a little bit of the transmogrifier, the duplicator, and it was the duplicator with the ethicator attached, which didn't give it kind of gave an opposite Calvin. He gave him that well-mannered Calvin with the combed over hair and the buttoned up polo shirt and stuff, and you walked around. I have a great comic for that. Good Lord, that shit's funny. I was putting this together and I was stealing comics from the interwebs, and I'm reading these, and literally half of these still made me laugh out loud, because these are freaking classics, and it's a part of my childhood, and it really brought it back. So not only is it still funny, but it also brought me back to that moment to where it was funny the first time. So I got like a double whammy. And what that means is, if you're watching the beginning of the show, I did this in my bathroom, and so here I am reminiscing. And anyways, so there's that. Cardboard box tech, small, tight friendships. He had small circles. I have a small circle. I know most of my friends have I think it's kind of our generation. It's not that we don't trust, but the ones that we found that we do trust, we kind of held on to them a little bit for some reason. You know what I mean? And we were, we're not real quick to let a lot of people in. I'm super friendly, and, I will help and give. But, as far as here into my inner circle, it's small, bro. Right?
Seriously.
So. Fun fact, Rip and High students read graphic novels. Is that what it says?
That's what they call them now. Graphic novels.
Oh, shit,
if you could have got one of these comic books like this as a book when we were in high school, you could have taken a class and read it for 48 minutes or whatever our class time was. 47 minutes.
Yeah.
52 minutes. Something like that.
Hold on. I gotta go. And now
I never did read. Did you read comic books like Spider-Man and stuff like that?
I did
really,
not.
Yeah,
Not
I
like
was not
that.
a comic book guy, but like funnies in the newspaper every day, dude. Couldn't wait every day. Sunday, couldn't wait. Whole section, take it right out of the paper.
Right.
I was the guy who got the paper because newspaper funnies.
I'm trying to find the right one. Here we go. Let me go back to this one. I guess, well, we blocked the bottom panel. Huh? Let's go this one. All right. So take Renee up. Hey, Renee.
Home
Here's
studio.
another pounce. Another pounce, right? I remember this one. Hobbes is just taking a nap, right? I'm not trying to narrate it like nobody can see it, but here's the irony in it. He's just taking a nap. He's sleeping. He's not even in a hurry. Pops his back, stretches, little jaunt, right? A little friendly jaunt, and then he goes into creeper mode, stalking mode, and then fucking like Tigger said, he's fucking springing into action. He fucks him all up, and then he's all proud of himself. I mean, I get it. Everybody can see it, but holy shit, I think that's just I love that stuff. Right?
From an artwork perspective, one of the things that Calvin, if you can go back one really quick, one of the things that Bill Watterson did, if you'll notice, compared to other comics, he didn't use the panels consistently like everyone else. If he needed a smaller panel, then he just drew a smaller panel. And
like
no one was doing that
right
back
there.
in the day. Like, there's no panel on that whole top part.
Yeah,
nobody did stuff like that back then. He was the guy who changed the way you laid out your whole comic like that. So
because of this right here,
yeah,
overlapped him stuff,
so,
and it tells
so he could tell the story better. It helped him tell the story. So he did whatever the hell he wanted, kind of like what
because this stretch took this amount of time in this whole storyline. It took almost half of the entire story is his stretch, and then he just just kind of runs away all friendly, like, you know what I mean?
Yep. And then
it's almost half the story.
If if you've been following the series, then you know what's going to happen when you see him up in that top right corner there. You're like, oh, here he goes.
Calvin's coming home from school.
He's coming home from school.
Right. I didn't capture these ones, but part of this is Calvin will do, like, I think he did like a snowman decoy on the steps, and he opened the door, hey, I'm home, and nothing. And then he walk in and just get obliterated anyway, no matter what, Hobbes gets him, right? So
the smile on his face in the bottom center when he's got him.
Yeah, he's proud
the
of
smile
himself.
on Hobbes' face is great.
It's almost like a Tigger look, almost like a friendly hi, like this.
He's just
this
happy to see him.
ADD,
my dog
ADHD,
goes to me when I get home.
Anxiety kind of deal. Yes. So we opened with the Hobbes famous after school pounce. Calvin walks through the door after school, and Hobbes launches from off screen and obliterates him. Right. Over the years, Calvin has tried to trick Hobbes. Always ended up getting clobbered anyway. We played rough. We played, games like Smear the Queer. We played, what was different names for like the hard dodgeball, but we called it killer dodgeball. And we used like anything but the red rubber balls. We used volleyballs or soccer balls, and we could kick the ball to the people in the middle, you know what I mean? So we play rough. So this is 85. I'm 13 years old when this came out. I'm 15, 16, 17 reading this in the bathroom, right? This is perfect, right? This all resonates. And then, again, some more framework or not framework, right? It just shows a paw. We know, you know what I mean? And he's creeping. he's what's the word? Hunting.
And hold on. There's the first example of Hobbes turning back into a stuffed animal when his parents show up, which was another long running joke in the thing. Like, Hobbes,
is he real? Is he not real?
Right? Like, how was he getting pounced by him if he was really just a stuffed animal? And Bill Watterson refused to explain it. He was just like, whatever you think. He was like, I don't know, whatever you think.
It gets, to the point where he gets so fucking scared. And he's, can you check here? Can you check there? Can you check the closet? Can you check under the bed? Can you check? So that story runs, and that'll just pop up every now and again. And again, these bigger colored ones are the Sunday comic ones. These are the Sunday paper, right?
The best ones.
Here's the one story where they're in the cart. So we opened with Hobbes's after school pounce. This is the introduction
to a new character. Yeah.
This is the introduction. I had to read it for a second. To Susie Durkins. And like I was saying earlier, she's not the nemesis. She's not like, the antagonist. She is not. She is the literal opposite of Calvin, right? She isn't the bully. She's the opposite. Calvin is impulsive. Susie is organized. Yeah. Calvin is rebellious. Susie is cooperative. Calvin is messy. She's emotionally aware. He's imaginative. She's socially mature. He's confrontational. She's rule following. So it's, on one hand, they're zipper. They're made for each other, right? But up close, it's kind of a mess.
Dude, Hobbes' face in that last panel. Do you like her?
Hobbes. It's funny because Calvin's a little kid and he acts appropriate like a 6-year-old with girls. Ooh, gross. We'll get into gross. Cooties, ooh, you're gross. You eat worms. You're a dog. You're this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Hobbes actually is open about liking girls and smooches. He talks about that stuff, right? This is one of my all-time favorite comic strips right here. This one right here. Calvin's in a shitty mood. They're at the bus stop. Susie walks up. Hey, Calvin, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And is like, go step in front of a cement mixer. He just starts the whole fucking butthurt and pissed off. What a bill you are. What a jerk you are, blah, blah, blah. And now she's sitting there all pissy. And then again, here come the facial expressions that Watterson does so well that tells the story more than the caption bubble above Calvin's head, right? That's sinister. That right there is sinister. That's a sinister. How do you draw sinister? Well, there it is right there, right? There it is right Plus there. The words up top. And nothing helps a bad mood like spreading it around. You know how many times I've said that shit? Why are you doing that? Nothing helps a bad mood like spreading it around. It's exactly where that shit comes from. Yes. Calvin's going to make Susie a Valentine. She's a cutie, all right, right? And see, I need a big blah, 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 blah. And you get to the end, and Calvin, here's where his 6-year-old boy comes in, right? I hate you, drop dead, Calvin. I wish I could see this. Oh, fuck, I got glasses. I can see it now. There we are.
Were they on your head?
Yeah.
Sick.
So this is let's read this one for a second. The Valentine's card, he sends it out, right? And it says, please be my Valentine. Susie's Valentine, right? Anyways, here's where Hobbes starts singing Calvin and Susie sitting in a tree, K-I-S. So he starts talking shit to him, right? But if you read the last panel, here's where he's really open about girls, right? Susie says, hey, that Valentine wasn't for you. Read the back, and it says, Hobbes. He goes, me? Really? Oh, Smooch City, here we come.
Another great Hobbes face.
You guys can read that shit, but I mean, yes, the look on his face, and Calvin up here in the middle right, protesting, I'm not your Valentine, blah blah blah, and then she just comes back, you didn't read it, blah blah, and then walks away, right? And she doesn't even stand there and like whatever, I don't know, like a boss, mic drop and walk away, right? I threw this one in there. Susie's still a girl, and she still has feelings, and she still has a heart, and no matter what, she's trying to be strong for herself, but she's still vulnerable, right? She's wishing for 100 friends, so they would all go do something, and Calvin would be alone. So she'd be like, Anyways,
she got one to herself.
She did a whole week to herself, and a whole. Yeah.
Well, this would be one day. This is a regular day comic. weekday. Casper's never heard of it.
All right. Susie Durkins. All right. Here's one of the story arcs. I only captured a few of these. These are right in the middle. Here's the story on this one. Calvin and Hobbes. I believe this is the one where they started the club Gross, Gross. Get rid of slimy girls, right? And then Calvin goes, I know it does. I know it's redundant. It doesn't make sense. Talk about slimy girls. They're both kind of redundant anyways. Because he doesn't like girls, right? And anyways, so they make this club, and now they need a clubhouse. So they go out in the garage, and Calvin's like, help me push the car out of the garage, into the driveway, and we'll use the garage for the clubhouse. And, Hobbes is like, yeah, I don't want to do that. No. They go back and forth, and he finally talks him into it. Look, let's go a little bit. Let's do a little bit. And they say, okay. And so they start rolling the car. Well, the car keeps rolling. It rolls down the, the street, across the street into like a little ravine. They call it, right? Little
Into the ravine.
It's a dirt canal, right? Across the street, right? So the look on Calvin's face in the last one, nobody hit it, just went across the street, right? And Calvin's like, hooray, we're dead.
Crunch.
So yeah. Oh man. And so, this is innocence. I bet it costs at least $75.
At least $75.
$75. Calvin decides to run away. He's like, F this, I'm out. Me and Hobbes are out. He's going to run back home. He's going to make some sandwiches, and they're going to take the fuck off, right? Nervous, anxious, all the things. Hey, what's the matter with you? Nothing. Why do you ask? Blah, blah, blah. Losing his shit. Anyways, this is the next one. This is the introduction of his dad. So anyways, the story ends. Calvin makes a few sandwiches. He grabs Hobbes and they run away. They make it like, I don't know, so far into the forest, like apparently across the street or whatever. They're up in a tree, and the mom comes out, Calvin, and they see him up the tree, and they're like, basically, hey, you know what? We're just want to make sure, we're happy you're safe. And then it's a big hug. Right? So Calvin didn't get in trouble.
His dad was always pretty cool, though.
Introduction of Calvin's dad. It builds character. Gen X dad rating 9 out of 10. He fucks with Calvin, but he genuinely loves him, right? Super knowledgeable. And the only cons to really, he doesn't have a name. He's just dad. There's never a name for him in any of these comics. He's always just dad, right? I want to hit up Chatty real quick. I want to ask him about how his dad was created, because he's created on the philosophies of the parenting philosophies, I guess, of Watterson. I believe that's how that worked. Hey, Chatty, Calvin's dad, he wasn't based on a person, but I believe he was based on like the parenting philosophies of Watterson or something like that. Is that correct?
You've got it. Calvin's dad wasn't modeled on one person, but Watterson definitely channeled some of his own tongue-in-cheek parenting philosophy into him. The dad's dry, it builds character humor poked fun at the idea that every inconvenience somehow strengthens you. Watterson was reflecting how parents sometimes respond to complaints with a grin, making light of life's minor hardships. So yeah, in a way, Calvin's dad carried a little Watterson-esque satire on parenting cliches.
That's what I was talking about.
Exactly what he said.
Exactly what he said. The comic that's up now is the opening to where Calvin joins the baseball team, just so he'd stop getting picked on, right? Everybody's like, he's a boy and is expected to play baseball. And he's like, I don't fucking even like baseball. I'd rather go home, grab Hobbes, and go dinosaur, whatever, this or that, right?
What's wrong with just having fun by yourself, huh?
Right? So his dad's all that builds character, how to, win graciously and accept defeat. It builds character. Every time I've built character, I've regretted it. So anyways, he's thinking about quitting. Another one about building character. Oh yeah, what if I don't love it? Then it'll build character. That's my dad, always looking out for me. This one is a riot, pal. I mean, that bottom left panel right there. Calvin, go do something you hate. Be miserable builds character. And if you can see his face, he's absolutely mocking his dad, right? Okay, the voice was a little funny, but that's one darn sarcastic kid raising.
Mom's dying on the floor.
And mom's dead. He's eating shit. Some of these panels make you think. Some of them make you laugh, right? What's this, Jamie? Tom Cruise as older Calvin passing down Hobbes to his son, like Toy Story, kind of. Tom Cruise as Calvin. You take Tom Cruise as Calvin? That'd be kind of cool.
I thought I heard something. There's a video out there that's like Hobbes or Calvin's all grown up.
I have it. We're gonna do it on the mid-show break.
Okay, good.
I think it's coming up.
Love it.
Next.
Maybe we'll get.
It's after Dad. Yeah. All right. So, Dad isn't based on a real person. He's based on a few philosophies, right? Childhood should be challenging, not cushioned. Kids learn through experience, not lectures. Imagination is a core part of childhood. Now, if you take those three philosophies that Dad, according to this, that Dad does, now you take all the instances of Bill's character, right? He's not really, childhood should be challenging. And some of the challenges were riding a bike uphill, camping in the rain, eating vegetables. Eating fucking vegetables. Right. And then, kids learn through experience. Go outside and play. Let's go out and do stuff, right? Let's do it. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, let's go do it. It builds character, right? And imagination, of course. Calvin is, 90%, imagination because of Hobbes. Hobbes is alive in his imagination. Plus, we're going to talk about Spaceman Spiff, the duplicator, transmogrifier, all the things, right? But for now, what I'd like to do is
I like not having to be on camera. It reminds me of the old audio days.
Where is the trailer? Is it download still?
So I bought all of these books for my son. We had these in the bathroom in my house when my kids were growing up. So my son Kyoji grew up watching or reading the Calvin and Hobbes books in the bathroom. And Jamie looks like not seeing me too. So he grew up on this. This is his favorite comic because he grew up on this, having it on the back of the toilet in the house when he was a kid.
I'm gonna fire our producer and our cameraman back there. I found the trailer. You guys want to see it?
All right, here it is. The Calvin and Hobbes movie. Wait, yeah, there you go.
Calvin, it's just a dream. Go back to bed.
Felt so real, though. The house is falling apart.
Calvin, stop! Calvin!
When I was younger, my imagination kept me sane. I didn't have any friends, so
I get in trouble for this.
I created one.
I don't think so.
I constructed entire planets for
There's
myself.
like stuff done by me and you, I think.
But as I grew up, I tried to leave childish things behind. My imagination had other ideas, and my daydreams, once harmless, slowly turned into a hellish reality.
There's something wrong with Calvin.
There's always been something wrong with him.
Do you believe in the devil? A supreme evil being dedicated to the corruption and destruction of man?
I'm not sure that man needs the help.
Look, where do you think these daydreams are coming from? Your imagination is part of you.
I can't control it.
Well, you have to. If these manifestations are real now, they'll tear you apart.
Any monsters under the bed tonight?
No. No.
I'd hate to have to torch one.
You have a flamethrower.
Close enough. It knows I'm growing up. It's fighting back. You evolving. And I don't think I can stop it.
I'm not sure you want to.
I'm the guy with ears like Calvin.
Things are getting worse. Hobbes is gone. He's somewhere inside my mind. I've got to go after him.
Not seen that one.
Have you not seen that?
Oh, hi.
No, I have not seen
Thanks
that.
for meeting
show.
me here. I'd like to talk about subscribing.
Now hold on. Before you ask.
No, don't
why does it
subscribe to
matter?
them. Subscribe to
It
us.
really does.
No, not them. Although that was pretty cool.
That was pretty dope.
That was
That was
pretty
pretty good. That was pretty good. So,
Some guy.
all right, mid-show break. Spaceman Spiff is Calvin's imagination when mostly I think he's in school. That's how he escapes his math homework or his other homework, whatever homework.
Yeah,
his
yeah.
daydream, his teacher, Miss Wormwood, is always turns into some evil Zorg creature, a Zorg monster, or some alien something, right? His homework is some kind of challenge. He has to get to the fiery lava valley of whatever, and it's usually like 2 + 6. And he goes through all this imagination, and I think it's almost, well, I want to say it's always math. I don't know.
I think so.
Have you seen my glasses? Calvin's dad explains.
He asked dad questions.
Son's only this big and it sits in Wyoming, basically, is this one. Dad advice. Some of the advice that his dad gives him, right? I thought the sun was really big. You can't believe everything you read, I'm afraid. Dad comes home. Calvin had built snowmen to protest him. And my favorite one is Egad, bad dad.
I put one on here too. The snowman was one of my favorite ongoing jokes.
It was. There's a whole book right here. I think it was one of these right here. Attack of the Killer Deranged Mutant Snow Goons. Eggplant casserole tonight? Why, yes. There's snowman. I mean, is this funny? It's funny because we know Calvin. We know what he did before this frame because of the eggplant casserole. This is really funny if you know Calvin.
It's hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
He was
Goodbye, Jamie.
Him and Hobbes, great snowman builders.
What causes wind? Tree sneezing. Really? Trees are really sneezing today. Anyways, this is one I've always remembered over the years. How Calvin learned how they do the weight limit on bridges. They basically just drive bigger and bigger trucks until the bridge breaks. The way the last truck can rebuild the bridge. There's your fucking limit.
He's so stoked with himself for thinking of that too.
You don't know the answer. Just look how big her mouth is. She looks like Lucy from Peanuts. Charlie Brown gang. Yeah.
Grown up Lucy.
Fucking yelling at him. Dude, look how big her mouth is. Dear, if you don't know the answer, just tell him. This one right here is deep. It's so deep. It is so good. This is the explanation of why black and white photos or black and white and color or fades and all that shit, right? It's fucking deep, dude. It's fucking deep. I'm telling you.
The world was black and white back then.
And so, so some of these turn color? No, you got to remember, these are color photos of a black and white world.
Yeah.
What? It was pretty deep, man.
The truth is stranger than fiction.
It was pretty deep.
Why are old paintings in color?
What does he say?
Why the paintings were in color?
Yeah.
If the world was black and white, wouldn't artists have painted it that way? Not necessarily. A lot of the great artists were insane.
So they painted in color and not black.
They painted in color because they were insane.
There we go. Anyways, this is his dad. This is his role model. He just fills his head full of all this shit, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is a good one.
The question.
People go to Sears. I'm from Sears. No, you were a blue light special at Kmart. Almost as good and a lot cheaper. Almost as good. Dear, what are you telling him now? You know what I mean?
She already knows.
Basically, it's all in the book you get when you become a father. That's why I saved this one. It's the speed of light. You gain more time because it doesn't take as long to get there. Of course, the theory of relativity only works if you're going west.
There were a lot of there were some comics I remember that were on the page that had a lot of writing, and I don't remember what all the different comics were now, but some of them had a lot of writing, and I would just skip it. Like Kathy. Like I wasn't reading Kathy because she had big paragraphs of stuff.
Gilbert.
Like, I'm not reading all that.
And some other business office.
But these, dude, look how much reading that is.
Yeah.
I was in on this, dude. I would read Calvin and Hobbes all day long.
This is where Dad just fucking with him. Tell him there's little people inside the ATM and, open the garage door and how they're just going to go harvest a tree down the street after the holiday. All right, you guys. The cardboard technology, the transmogrifier, the duplicator with the ethicator. Now, you have to understand the difference between all three. The transmogrifier would turn him into whatever was selected on the dial. There was a dial, right? Whatever selected on the dial was, that's what you turned into. The panel we're seeing here turns him into just basically a tiger. And so he's sitting there like, when do we eat? And so it's kind of, anyways.
The cute little puppy Hobbes is pretty cool though.
It does, huh? I guess I missed one right there. Yeah. Good. Go me. I think it's Father's Day right here, right?
Early the better, late to rise, you always say.
This is where he comes back and gives them all of his dad isms back.
Reading comics is good.
Spaceman Spiff. Again, this is fan art right here, but this is the his imagination taking over, and it's always when he's in school, he's in his desk, and this is a spaceman. He's got his blasters, and he's out there fighting aliens and going through, whatever challenge he's going through, and it's always a fucking math problem.
It's always, something like this.
It's always a math problem. Well, this one, his mom's gonna make him eat that pile of green shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our fearless leader escapes and he just fucking runs out of the classroom. Anyways, yeah. I think this is the last one. You don't like my snowman house of horror, do you? Now, I left this one in because when I was in fourth grade, this wasn't Calvin and Hobbes yet. When I was in fourth grade, there was a back to school night or open house, whatever one that my parents are supposed to come down to. If that's both of them, okay, it was either one of those. My parents are supposed to come down, and I'd made to take this construction paper, this big ass piece of construction paper, and you fold it in half. Oh, let me put this back on the screen here. And you fold it in half, and then all your work goes in there, all the stuff you want to show your parents, and then we got to color the front. And we left it on our desk. And then when we showed up with our parents, we're like, oh, look at this art. Look at this thing I colored. And you open it up and, there's my homework. And here's my A's. Here's my B's. Little Susie got
show them all the stuff.
All the things, right? So I show up down there. I don't, my mom might've been, I don't think she was down. I think me and Eric just went down there because it was open house, right? We went down there and maybe my mom was with me. Anyways, I go over to my desk that wasn't in the rows. I never sat with the rest of the classroom. I was always in the front of the classroom, off to the right, facing the fucking corner in my desk the whole year. They just
From
away
day
with
one.
me, right? From day one, just fucking sit me over there, right? So, anyways, I go over to my desk, and on top, I look on top of my desk. I'm like, "Hey, where's my folder, Miss Vest? Where's my folder? Where's my stuff?" Right? And she goes, "Oh, I put it in your desk. I didn't anybody want to see what you drew." And I pulled it out. My mom, that's right, my mom was there. My mom was like, "What do you mean what he drew?" Blah blah. My mom kind of started having words with the teacher, right? What I drew was this big giant butterfly and these other little butterflies and these birds and stuff, and colored them, and just the kind of symmetrical butterflies with the body and and all that stuff. And they were kind of cool little butterflies. The part she didn't like was I also drew a bunch of military stuff, shooting harpoons with ropes and stuff on through the butterfly wings and little splatters of blood, trying to kind of like David and Goliath, not David and Goliath, but like giants and the little people, right?
Yeah, what was that?
Gulliver.
That Mickey Mouse story, yeah.
Yeah, Gulliver's Travels or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And these little army guys trying to take out these giant battle killer butterflies, right, with fangs and shit. You know what I mean? Of course, they had fangs. And anyway, she didn't like all the blood and gore. She didn't like the fact that this was blood and gore, basically. And she put that shit away, right?
Not in 4th grade.
No. And so that reminds me of this one. You don't like my Snowman House of Horrors, do you? I do, Calvin. I do.
I really do. Why should I change?
Yeah, exactly. He's the one who sucks. Calvin, Susie, they want to play house, basically.
It's so sick, dude.
He's gonna light smoke. He's coming home from work, doing all the things, right? They're playing house. So Calvin's obsession with dinosaurs.
When he becomes a T-Rex.
Yes.
Love it.
And those philosophical rides down the hill, and his wagon, right? And they always eat shit.
Philosophy.
Is a talk on a cereal box. Religion. It's a smile on a dog.
Yeah, they're talking science.
This one's heartwarming. Dad thought about it for a minute, went back out there. Oh, yeah, yay. Good job, Dad.
Right.
Good job, Dad. Yeah, that's it.
Blank slide.
That's it. There's like several blank slides for extra if we needed them.
Extra Hobbes.
Extra Hobbes. So I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody who tuned in for with us tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to my buddy over there, Greg. Thank you, man. Always appreciate it.
Oh yeah, good topic. I love talking about Calvin and Hobbes. Anyways, it's a good memory.
We left it wide open, and there's a lot more to talk about. Jamie, thank you, Renee. Thank you guys for jumping in.
Hanging out.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us tonight, folks. My name is Jason,
and I'm Greg.
Peace out, everyone.
Late.
2
and 2. Chuck Woolery. No, Chuck Woolery, the stoniest dude ever.